today's world, we are surrounded by more options than ever before. From what we eat to where we travel, what we consume for entertainment, or how we choose to spend our time, the sheer volume of choices is both a luxury and a burden. Paradoxically, amidst this abundance, many of us feel stuck. We ache for change, long for growth, crave something more, but when the moment to reach out comes, we hesitate. Deep down, we often know what could improve our lives, yet we hold back, not because we doubt its goodness, but because it doesn't feel familiar. And what feels unfamiliar often feels unsafe, even if it's exactly what we need. New ideas, healthier routines, transformative experiences, they rarely arrive in a package that feels cozy. They feel unusual, they feel foreign, they feel strange, but what if strangeness isn't a warning sign of danger? What if it's simply the threshold to something better? The modern comfort paradox lies at the heart of this dilemma. We live in an age that rewards speed, convenience, and instant gratification. With a tap, groceries appear at our doorsteps. With a swipe, entertainment floods our screens. With a voice command, books are read aloud by machines. While these advances offer incredible convenience, they come at an invisible cost. Our ability to embrace the unfamiliar begins to erode. We begin to shy away from anything that requires patience, curiosity, or effort, not because it lacks value, but because it demands more of us than we're used to giving. Choosing a fast food meal over cooking a nourishing dish, staying in bed rather than walking in the crisp morning air, scrolling social media instead of journaling, these small decisions reflect a larger trend, favoring comfort over growth. And as we accumulate more convenience, life quietly contracts. This aversion to the strange is deeply rooted in how our brains evolved. Our ancestors survived by being cautious. In the wild, anything new, a noise, a taste, a change in pattern could signal danger. That instinct to fear novelty helped our species stay alive, but in a modern setting, that same instinct often works against us. It tells us that trying yoga is too awkward, joining a new social group is too risky, or exploring a new way of eating is just too much. So instead of expanding into the unknown, we retreat into the familiar. And in doing so, we label our retreat as self-care, when in truth, it's often self-sabotage wearing a comfortable disguise. Real transformation doesn't come wrapped in ease. Ask anyone who's changed their life in a meaningful way, and they'll probably describe a journey that began in discomfort. The first steps into something new are rarely graceful. That first run feels endless. The first healthy meal might taste bland. That first trip alone can feel lonely and overwhelming. Therapy might stir up more confusion than clarity in the beginning, but the difference between those who evolve and those who don't is that the former keep going. They accept that discomfort is not a stop sign, but a starting point. Growth almost always demands a temporary surrender to awkwardness. This is where personal permission becomes powerful. Imagine a door that leads to a room filled with everything you say you want: peace, energy, connection, meaning. Now imagine that door is a bit rusty. The handle sticks, maybe the hinges creak. Many people, upon seeing the door, walk away. Too much trouble, they say, but the door isn't locked, it just needs a little effort. This metaphor mirrors the truth of our lives. We wait for others to give us a green light, to clear the path, to tell us it's time. But really, we are the only ones who can grant ourselves that access. The world doesn't need to approve your growth, you do. And you do that by choosing to lean into things that are good for you, even when they don't feel natural at first. Try the new food even if it tastes strange at first. Explore that small town you've never been to. Read the book that challenges your beliefs. Strike up the conversation that makes your palms sweat. Say yes to the opportunity that scares you, because life doesn't expand by staying still, it unfolds when we move forward. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that now isn't the right time. We promise to get healthier when things calm down, to travel when we have more savings, to learn something new when we're less tired, to take risks when we feel more confident. But that perfect moment doesn't exist. Later is a moving target, and every time we choose to delay, we reinforce a pattern of avoidance. Eventually, not now becomes never. The brain becomes skilled at creating excuses and rationalizations. So instead of building momentum, we build resistance. A surprising lesson about this comes from the animal kingdom. Lobsters, for instance, engage in territorial battles. When a lobster loses a fight, it undergoes actual neurological changes. Its brain chemistry shifts to reflect submission. It begins to behave like a loser, not just psychologically, but biologically. Humans may be more complex, but emotionally, we often do the same. When we fail, especially in a big way, we sometimes rewrite our identity around that failure. We stop dreaming big, we hesitate to try again. Not because we can't succeed, but because we've come to believe we're not meant to. The solution: shrink the size of the risk, not the size of your vision. Start small, win where you can. When your brain witnesses even small wins, it begins to remember what you're capable of. And let's be honest, you don't need to be excellent at everything. You don't need to have your 5-year plan mapped out. You don't need to enjoy quinoa the first time you try it. You simply need to begin. If a friend tried something new and failed, you wouldn't ridicule them, you'd encourage them. You'd remind them that effort counts. That stumbling is part of the process. Can you offer that same compassion to yourself? Life is not a perfectly executed performance. It's a rough draft full of revisions. Some chapters won't make sense until later. But every attempt to grow, no matter how imperfect, contributes to the story. Here's another trap we fall into. We think that because something is familiar, it's safe. But some of the most damaging parts of our lives are the ones we've simply grown used to. Chronic debt, toxic relationships, emotional numbness from burnout. These things might feel normal because they're routine, but they are far from safe. Meanwhile, practices that are unfamiliar, like meditation, public speaking, asking for help, eating cleaner, or volunteering, may feel off, but they often hold the breakthroughs we need. The challenge isn't to feel ready for them, it's to try them anyway. Support is not a luxury offered by others, it's a responsibility we owe to ourselves. When you reach for something nourishing instead of convenient, that's support. When you take 5 minutes to breathe instead of doom scroll, that's support. When you allow yourself to rest without guilt, that's support. The most damaging betrayal is when someone else lets you down. It's when you consistently let yourself down by refusing to show up for your own well-being. Everyone wants a better life, but wanting isn't enough. You have to align your actions with your aspirations. So ask yourself honestly, are you creating conditions for change or just waiting for it to magically arrive? Are you your own ally or your own obstacle? The truth is, we often stand in our own way, not because we're unworthy. Not because we're lazy, but because we're afraid of failure, afraid of standing out, afraid of leaving the known for the unknown. But growth doesn't require the absence of fear. It requires the courage to act in spite of it. Maybe it's time to stop asking, do I feel ready, and start asking, would this help me grow? If the answer is yes, then lean into it, even if it feels foreign, especially if it does, because that's where the shift begins. That's where you reclaim your authority. That's where you stop waiting and start becoming. And finally, treat yourself like you'd treat someone you love. If they were stuck, you wouldn't scold them. You'd encourage them. You'd give them permission to try, to fail, to rise again. You'd remind them of their potential, even when they forgot it themselves. That same grace, that same hope, that same patience, you deserve it too. The truth is, the world is already full of goodness. There are new ideas waiting to inspire you, foods ready to heal you, books prepared to guide you, people who might love you, and places that could awaken something long asleep inside you. But none of that can reach you if you never open the door, so go ahead. Let yourself experience the good, even if it feels strange, even if it's new, even if part of you wants to resist. Because a beautiful life is rarely built inside your comfort zone. It's found in the quiet courage to step beyond it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next video.